All right, we are recording.
All right. Well, I am so excited to welcome Asia Simonelli onto our call. This is going to be a little bit different because we're hearing from someone who's not a Beachbody coach, but who has experience coaching and so much personal development. So Asia is a holistic life coach. She specializes in helping people, specifically divorced women, go through transition. And she has a holistic coaching certification with the Integrated Wellness Academy, an MBA from the University of San Diego. She's worked closely with Gabby Bernstein. I don't know if you guys have read any of her books, but she's incredible. She's attended countless personal development retreats and events, and recently she attended the Ascension Leadership Academy, where she did serious work on breaking through limiting beliefs in her own life and in her own business, and has learned to help others do the same. So I asked her to come on and talk to us about limiting beliefs because one of the things that I see a lot of my coaches and just coaches in general and myself holding me back are limiting beliefs that I have about myself or about this business. And I think it's really important to recognize those and work through those in order to truly have the success that you're looking for. And I don't think that there's any way to truly achieve the success you want without working on yourself in the process. So I'm really excited to hear what Asia has put together for us today. And with that being said, take it away, Asia.
Thanks, Nicole. In case you didn't know, Nicole is my best friend. So I feel like I'm one of you. I was actually a Beachbody coach over 10 years ago. And I wish I had the support. Like, you guys have such a great team. Seriously, so much support and love and openness. Like, this community is amazing. So I wish I had that way back in the day when I was going through like becoming a coach and everything. So I'm excited to be here with you. I know a lot of you are watching this as a recording, but I did want to ask, like, how many of you have experience with, like, how many of you have a spiritual practice? Like, raise your hand if you have a spiritual practice. No hands. Awesome. A little bit of a spiritual practice. So this is good because now this is like a whole new world for you, basically. Like, just keep an open mind and just think of like where you're at right now. If it's not exactly where you want to be, like, great. Now you have another tool, another resource, another like reframe. So also I encourage you to grab a journal if you can, so we can do a little bit of work together. And that's it. And then go ahead and mute yourself if you're not talking, and we can go ahead and jump in. So, okay, one way that I think this might help you relate to what a limiting belief is, because I want to start like what exactly is a limiting belief, because they show up everywhere and you might not even realize it. So several years ago, I was training for an Ironman with Nicole, and we did all the same training. We put in all the same work. We were following the same plan. And a few weeks before the triathlon, I freaked out because I saw there was a time cutoff on the bike. And I said, what if I don't make the time cutoff? Oh my gosh, what if I don't make the time cutoff? I'm not strong enough to make the time cutoff. What if I'm not as like strong as Nicole? I'm not as fast as like the other people. This is my first time. And I started freaking out. Like, I literally let all of these thoughts that were just from out of nowhere, from one thought I had, consume me. And I didn't try to change them. I didn't stop to think actually of all the positives, like all the training I had put in. So continued to train, went to the triathlon, started the race, and guess what happened? The belief that I was worried about, the belief I had on my mind, it came true. I finished the swim. I made the swim time cutoff. I got on the bike. I started going, and I was 7 hours into the bike, and I missed the cutoff. They're like, sorry, your journey is over. You're done. And I didn't realize how much at the time, this is before I'd done all this mindset work, that I was actually like, just, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I had this limiting belief that wasn't rooted in anything. I'd done all the training. There was no reason that I would have missed that cutoff, but I did it to myself. I got stuck in the energy. So that's one thing to look at. And this translates into business as well. So in a few more minutes, I'm going to give you some specific business examples. So a limiting belief is any belief that you have about yourself, your life, your circumstances that holds you back from your full potential. So any belief that you have about yourself, your circumstances, or your life that's holding you back from getting to where you want to be, from your dream life, from a thriving business, from that next level of income, from any specific goal you have about for yourself, anything in your life. Your limiting belief is something that you're imposing on yourself. It's not anything that anyone else is imposing on you. So yes, you have picked it up along the way. So this goes back to the bit of the spiritual side. So if you think about when you were born, you weren't born thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid of everything. And you weren't comparing yourself. You were just born like as you were. You were born and you were loved. And anything was possible, right? And then you started to grow up. You started to become a kid. You were told no for the first time. You maybe were trying to fly and then you fell and you hit the ground and you hurt yourself. And so you start picking up these things along the way, right? Like knowledge, like little data points, oh, maybe that's not safe, or maybe I shouldn't be doing that, or maybe I can't really do that. Maybe you flunked a test. Maybe someone was really hard on you. Someone broke your heart. And maybe now you're in a really happy relationship, but maybe you still have that in the back of your mind, ooh, I remember when that happened. I don't know if I can always be happy, or if I'm always going to feel this in love, or if my business is sustainable, right? These little things coming up that you've picked them up along the way. And these are all coming from your ego. This is your ego talking, and your ego not in a good way. Your ego is not your authentic self. Your ego wants to keep you safe. Your ego always wants to be right. And usually we let it be right. The thing is your ego is rooted in fear. Your ego is rooted in judgment. It's rooted in scarcity and lack. So knowing that we all have an ego and it's never going to go away, we have all these thoughts in our head. We have thousands of thoughts every day, consciously and subconsciously, right? And a lot of them is just our egoic mind. So if that's rooted in fear, what's the opposite of fear? The opposite of fear is love. Okay, so we have fear and we have love. Just keeping it simple, keeping it black and white. The opposite of fear is love. So we have our ego freaking out, saying all these things, and it's a fear-based mindset. And fear, what it really is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You might think no, this is real. Like I said, I'm going to miss that time cutoff. It's a real possibility for me, and I'm believing this fear. And not silencing the mind. So it's just trying to keep you safe. So just knowing that your ego is trying to keep you safe, even though you really, it's holding you back, but it's doing the best it can, but it's rooted in fear. So just remember that we got the opposite, which is love. And so this is affecting your business. This is affecting your everyday life, your relationships. You get to believe whatever you want, and you'll always be right. You get to believe whatever you want, and you'll always be right. So you can believe that I'm never going to make it as a 6-figure business owner. And you're right. You can believe I'm going to be one of the top 10 earners in Beachbody. Notice what comes up for you when I say that. And you're right. You just get to truly believe it and feel it. So we'll get more into how to do that. But the good news is that you get to believe whatever you want, because you'll always be right. So write that down, remember that, because it is life-changing. So historically, going back to the business example, when I started my coaching business, my mindset had been historically getting clients is hard. So maybe you think getting new customers is hard, challengers is hard, coaches is hard. That was something that's been really real for me. I'm getting new clients is hard. So I was feeling stuck thinking, okay, I want another client, but it's hard. And I was not feeling up for putting in all the work. It seemed too overwhelming for me. Luckily, I have support. I have coaches, just like you guys all have each other, right? So I called one of my coaches and let her know where I was at. I was I'm really just not feeling it right now. I want a new client. I need a new client. I don't know how to do it. And she's okay, get out of your head and think right now about where you're at, what you're going through. And I was going through a really rough time in this moment. I'd been crying 24 hours before. So I do a lot of relationship coaching, and I was struggling in my relationship, okay? And she was great. So what can you share right now from your heart right? Rooted in love, not the fear, and the love on social media, because that's where historically I've gotten a lot of my clients. What can you share right now that's from the heart, that's vulnerable, that's what you're going through right now, that could touch just one person's life? And I was like, well, I don't want to share what I'm going through right now. That seems too hard. Yeah, okay, great. You're continuing to make it hard. Wouldn't it be great if it was easy? Yes. Yes. I want it to be easy. What if everything in life was easy? Okay, interesting. I'm listening. Okay, so what if it was easy? What if it was just you getting out of your fear, your ego, your lack mindset, knowing that you have the tools, like you've seen it before, right? You've posted on social media and you've gotten responses and clients before. This is true. She's like, so what if you just wrote one powerful post explaining what you're going through right now, coming from your heart, being vulnerable, and see what happens? You have the intention of reaching one woman, and that woman's going to be your client. I'm like, okay, I follow. I'm open to coaching. Like, yes. So we get off the phone. I struggled writing the post, but I was like, I'm going to be as honest and raw and authentic as I can be, because being stuck and being in fear, it hasn't been working for me. Thinking it's hard has not been working for me. So let's just try something different. So I wrote the post. I published in my stories, followed up, and I got a lot of feedback. I got a lot of messages like, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing. Had no idea you're going through this. I've been through the same. My mom texted me like, oh my gosh, you were crying for hours. Are you okay? And I was like, oh, I'm okay. And I got a message from a woman who had been following me. We'd never connected before. And she said, hi, can you tell me more about your private coaching? Sure. Like, tell me a little bit about what you're going through. And then I took it from there. We got on the phone. I followed my process. And then within those 48 hours, I had created thousands of dollars for myself. After just thinking I was stuck, getting new clients is hard. Like, this literally set the momentum and the reframe, which is what we're going to go into now, of going from getting clients is hard to getting clients is easy. It's effortless. It's love. It's joy. It's all of these things, right? So that was a big realization for me, because I was making things harder than they needed to be. And I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but just think about areas in your life where maybe you're making things harder than they need to be. Just get curious about it. Just get curious about it. So the good news is you get to believe whatever you want and you'll always be right. So let's go into what some of your limiting beliefs might be, and then we can learn how to tackle them. So if you have a moment, if you're, not driving, I invite you to close your eyes if you're in a space where you can do so, and just really start to become present with where you're at right now. So just take some deep breaths with me, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just start to get present to being here, being on this call, focusing on yourself, taking some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Keeping your eyes closed, allow your mind to wander and think about your dream life. Think about what you desire for yourself in your life, in your business. Where are you living? Who's by your side? Do you have a family? How much is in your bank account? Is it more than you've ever seen before in your life? What are you wearing? How does it feel to be in this dream life? Your ideal life. How does it feel in your body right now? I'm smiling because I'm thinking about wonderful things and it just makes me smile. So just taking that all in. And now come back to where you are today. Think about where you're at in your business, where you're living, and notice the gap. And ask yourself, what is stopping me from getting there? So why don't you have that dream life today? Why don't you have it yet? Now open your eyes and write down anything that came up for you. Anything. If it triggered you when I was like, why don't you have this yet? And you got mad. Or, if you're thinking like, I need more time. Whatever it is, if you have a chance, make a list. Just let it, like everything that came up for you, go ahead and write it down. If you don't have a chance, just think about it right now. Come up, what were the first 2 things that came into your head? And this is where we get some awareness around some limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. So I shared one, getting clients is hard. That was one for me. Other ones could be, I'm not good enough. No one's going to listen to me. I don't have the time. The market is saturated. No one wants to work with me. If you're on here, like, feel free to unmute yourself and tell me a couple that came up for you, or write them in the chat just so I can hear what's coming up for you. And if you're watching the replay, we'll share my contact details and feel free to send me a message and I can help you with working through it. But just start thinking about these beliefs that are coming up for you. And then also catch any judgments that you place on others. So these are also limiting beliefs. So what you're projecting out as judgments, like, she doesn't have a full-time job. Well, she doesn't have kids. It's easier for her. She started this before me. Like, she has more time than me. Like, anything that comes up for you, like, these also get to be addressed. Because how you're judging others is really a reflection of what you're talking to, like how you're talking to yourself. It's a mirror. It's a mirror. So you get to have some awareness. And all of this is just about getting curious, right? Like, we're not judging, we're not attacking anything you think. It's just having this awareness and this curiosity, like, oh, I didn't realize I was always blaming other people. Like, you are not a victim to your circumstances. You are not. You are not a victim to your circumstances. So you can stop thinking that everything is out to get you, everyone is out to get you. You get to reframe all of this. But the first step is having the awareness and being open to what's coming up for me, what's holding me back. So here's what you get to do. You have your limiting beliefs. You have a list. And now we're going to look into reframing. But are there any questions up until this point before we jump into that?
Do you want us to share some of them? Or?
Go ahead, share some, please.
Mine are, I need more sleep. I need more childcare. Yeah, one of mine that I realized when we were talking through this is that I should have started coaching back when me and Asia were coaches almost 10 years ago. Should have done it then. That one's not a big one for me, but it came up when I was thinking through this. I need more rock star coaches.
You ready to attract more rock star coaches? Yes. Okay, this is part of the whole thing, but also a little side note because I just learned this the other day and I want to share it because you said I need more sleep. Before you go to bed at night, lay your head down on the pillow, you're getting all comfy, and say out loud, I am so grateful I'm about to get the perfect amount of sleep. I told you I do woo-woo stuff, but I'm just write it down. I promise you it will.
Miracle Morning.
No, I haven't heard it from I heard it from one of my coaches in the leadership training, but is it in Miracle Morning too?
Yeah, that's what Hal Elrod says. It's if we go to bed thinking, oh my gosh, let's just say we go to bed at 10 and our baby wakes us up at 11 or 12 and we're like, seriously, there's no way I'm going to get up at 5:30. My alarm's going to go off and I'm going to be so tired. They said to switch it and say, great, my alarm's going to go off and I'm going to be ready to tackle my day because this is enough sleep for me. I'll be okay. And if you say that before you lay your head back down, then when your alarm goes off, you had positive affirmations instead of you already told yourself you were pretty much not going to get up, what you were telling yourself before. And I've made that shift for me because I need to get that time in the morning, or else my whole day like doesn't go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in those positive affirmations for sure.
Absolutely. They are so powerful. And like, if you've never tried it before, why not try it? Right? If you're sick of being tired all the time, like, why not try something different? If you're still going to get the same amount of sleep anyway, if your babies are still going to wake you up, why not say, I'm so grateful I'm going to get the perfect amount of sleep tonight? Even if you know it's only going to be 4 hours. Some people can function off 4 hours. I mean, you might wake up feeling like, okay, I'm ready. So that was just a side note to what you said, because I do that now. Okay, so you have your list, and the first step is awareness. So knowing that these things are going to continue to come up for you, so you get to consciously interrupt them. So, you know, you have like the voice in your head, the ego, like doing this thing, and how it can be a downward spiral, whatever it is. So now you get to consciously interrupt and choose a different perspective. So if something's coming up for you right now, like, what am I thinking right now? And how does it make me feel? What am I thinking right now? And how does it make me feel? If you do not feel joy, peace, empowerment, whatever it is that you want to feel, like the intention that you're about to like get on a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live for your business, and you're feeling like, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling like everyone's going to judge me, you know, like, this is the perfect time before you jump on there to shift, right? Like, before I come into anything, I always get butterflies, and I'm like, okay, I need to remember, like, for me, a big powerful shift is, this is not about me. This is about how I can serve other women. It's not about me at all. It's not about me. So it helps me get out of my head when I'm like nervous. It's like, I get to serve other women. Like, someone needs to hear this today. Like, what can I say to empower someone else today? Getting out of my own head, because it's not about me. And in this business, it's not about you either. Think about it. Like, there's someone who might need you more than you even know, like, who might be in a really dark place and like just down on themselves, and getting back into the routine of fitness, getting back into self-love. Like, I always talk about self-love and self-care, and taking care of your body is a huge part of that. And you just don't know how much your message and is going to actually change someone's life. So just like, keep that in mind. That's been really helpful for me. So you get to now transform the thoughts into something more empowering, something with an intention that you want to go after. So it's about changing the words and the feeling. So I think that's where some people get kind of caught up. They're like, oh, affirmations, I keep saying them, but I don't really believe what I'm saying. So you get to say something you believe. So it's about the thought and the feeling. So, for example, if you bring a woman into your program and she hates her body, she tells you, I hate my body. She's not going to believe, I love my body. She cannot go from I hate my body to I love my body and believe it. So what's something that's a more like neutral statement, something that's not negatively charged? How about, I have a body? You tell her, I have a body, right? She's like, I do. I'm like, do you believe you have a body? Yes, I believe I have a body. Okay, great. So is she more likely to get up and like press play and like follow her food diet, like all of these things, if she hates her body? Or if she's like, I have a body, right? And then she's like, okay, I have a body, and like, I'm starting to see results. I have a body and I get to give it fuel, whatever it is, right? But like, just keeping in mind that it's all about the feeling too. And you really want to believe it and feel it. So the energy that you put out is what you're going to get back. So everything is energy. This is all about the woo stuff again, right? Everything is energy. It really is. Like, money is energy. Like, if you're stingy with your money, like, no one's going to want to give you money. But if you're grateful and you're tipping and you're like treating money with respect, like, money will respect you, right? For example. So everything is energy. So now, like, what do you want to create that's more empowering? So look at your statements and start thinking about how you can reframe into something that supports you. That's an intention that you want to bring forth. So for me, a lot of what I do is rooted in love. It's rooted in freedom, connection. I love like connecting. So whatever that is for you. So if it's like empowerment, confidence, abundance, and how you can reframe it into something that you believe and that serves you. So I just wrote down some examples. And again, if you want to work through this together, let me know. One thing I wrote down was like, I'm not good enough to grow my team, or I'm not good enough to do this, I'm too new, whatever it is. I'm not good enough. Like that's a big one that comes up for me. Like it always comes up. I'm like, no. So you could say, I'm showing up as a leader and I'm growing more and more each day. I'm showing up as a leader and I'm growing more and more each day. If I'm saying like, no one's going to work with me, I can say, I am open and ready and available to take on new clients. Do you believe that? Do you believe that you're open, ready, available? Are you available to take on new clients? Not like no one's going to work with me. Maybe you don't feel like you're like, 100 women are going to work with me by the end of the month. Like if you don't believe that and you're just like saying it and you don't feel it and you get anxiety and all weird, like shift it into something you actually believe. So I am open and available and ready to take on new customers. I'm open and ready to take on new challengers. Does that make sense? Like you're believing that. The market is saturated, or there's like too many coaches out there, whatever. Shift into, there are so many women who need my help and are just waiting for my message. There are so many women out there that need my help and they just haven't heard it yet. There are women out there waiting to hear from me. They're waiting to hear my message, my story. Because how I show up is different from how like you show up than how like Nicole or Kelly, like everyone shows up differently. Everyone has their own story. It's not all the same. You might be offering the same awesome services that I love, but I'm going to go with someone that I feel connected to, like that I feel like is speaking to me. So you want to speak to someone when you have the right energy, right? The right like mindset, because you want to call in people that are like, yes, like I'm ready to work with you because I want what you're giving. Like you're giving so much love, joy, freedom, whatever it is. And for the judgments, you get to take a hard look at yourself as well. Okay, so this can be a little trickier, and I highly encourage you, if you want to explore this further, to pick up Gabby Bernstein's book, Judgment Detox. I know some of you have read it. So if you're looking into like a more personal development book, a spiritual book, Judgment Detox, Gabby Bernstein. But you are not a victim to your circumstances, and coming back around to that, because you're just not. And if you choose to be a victim to your circumstances and you choose to blame other people, like you're just never going to get to where you need to go. So again, we're trying on something new. We're trying on like a new way of being right now. So it's bringing in something you've never tried before. And even if you aren't convinced it's going to work, like show up, try it again and again. So stop being a victim and start choosing a different thought and start focusing on like how you get to show up and be like, wow, like that's cool. Like I have a full-time job and I get to get so much done in 2 hours in a day. Like, right? Like you get to create whatever you want to create. So I've been in a position where like I've worked a corporate job and I've like fit things in like 30 minutes. And then I switched to working for myself and I had so much time. I haven't even known what to do with it. And sometimes I'm like, I didn't realize how much time I was wasting, because really you get to be intentional with your time, right? So that's just an example how you show up. So stop like looking outside of yourself, stop comparing yourself, and just take a look at yourself. Okay, good. Now, are there any questions or anything you want to share, or I'll just keep going. And again, you can feel free to message me after this. Okay, so we talked about that, and then you get to take action. So you're taking action from a place now of empowerment. You're taking action from like a better mindset. Because you can have all these thoughts and feelings, and if you don't take the action, right? Like if I was like, thank you for that coaching, but if I hadn't posted that post, like I wouldn't have had the new client. So take the action, and then you get to repeat. You get to repeat everything. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Because your ego is never going to go away. Your egoic mind is always like trying to pull you back in. So now you get to practice everything and say, thank you next, like Ariana Grande, because it's going to come in. You're going to be like, that's great. That's interesting. And then you choose a different thought. And I do it all day long. So in summary, you have the awareness now. You have the awareness that when the fear, the thought, the feeling arises, and you know it's fear, you like notice the trigger. So notice it, become really aware, like extra hyper aware now to anything that sets you off in anything, whether it's your business, your kids, your marriage, whatever. And just be a non-judgmental observer. Like, cool, okay, like, and then you see it and you get to have an awareness, and then you get to choose differently. So now you're willing to choose it differently, right? And we've talked about having that different thought and tying it all together into something that you believe and something that you actually feel. And then have compassion for yourself, take the action, and then go back and repeat each time it comes up. Because you want to take action from an empowering place, not from the negative mindset, not from the victim mindset, not from anywhere else other than a place of love. Fear or love, go ahead and choose love. It feels a heck of a lot better. And the women are going to feel you. They're going to feel the energy, like, wow, she really cares about me. Like, I want to hear more about what she has to say, because you're coming from that place. There's other little tools, like just other little extra things, like knowing that I am responsible for what I see. I am responsible for how I show up, right? So it's all what we've talked about, but just like fun little things, like, you know how the saying is, I'll believe it when I see it? Like, I grew up hearing that, being told, I'll believe it when I see it. But now it's, I'll see it when I believe it. That's from Wayne Dyer. I'll believe it when I see it to I'll see it when I believe it. So again, it's not just changing the words, it's also changing the feeling. So you shifted into something you believe now, so then you're going to get that result. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I do have like a bonus like homework assignment I was thinking for you guys if you want to take this further, since I want to honor your time. Because I know money is a triggering one for a lot of us. Right? Like we have like money goals and we're like, why am I not hitting my goals? Or you hit your goal and you're like, yes. And then you're like, oh no, now I have another goal. So you get to raise your self-worth to raise your net worth. Self-worth, net worth, directly correlated. So when you journal, you get to start to get curious around, what are my financial fears and where did they come from? So the journal prompt, what are my financial fears and where did they come from? Allow yourself to journal on that. And then bringing in the holistic side, right? You get to forgive yourself. You get to forgive money. You're like, you know what? Like forgiveness. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. I forgive myself for having these lack thoughts. I forgive myself for thinking that money is bad, whatever it is. Like you get to forgive yourself, and then you get to bring major gratitude into it. I love money because, coming back to love, I love money because it allows me to travel. I love money because it allows me to work with business coaches. I love money because it allows women to hire me. I love money because like I get to have 2 homes. I love money, right? Just write down all the reasons why you love money, like all the experiences that you've seen. Like it's proof. Like I have money because I have this freaking necklace I just bought, right? Like proof, things that you believe and you're like, I believe it. It's happened. I was doing this every single day for a week. Also, when I told you I brought in those thousands of dollars, like I also did that exercise. So I did the post, I did all the things I talked to you about, and I journaled about all the reasons why I love money. I saw how powerful it was. I was like, I'm doing this every day. So that's like bonus assignment for you guys. So thank you so much. And Nicole, is there anything else that you wanted from me on the call today?
No, that was amazing. Thank you. That was great. Does anyone have any questions for Asia?
Yeah, I would love it if you could just send Nicole maybe just like a couple exercises. Like I know you just said a few of them, but just in case people want to just like maybe like 2 exercises, like this is what I recommend doing every day, or like when you have those self-limiting doubts, because I think that happens a lot with Beachbody and just any business like yourself. You're a business owner. And you can speak the truth from it. But I think that's why in our business, one of the vital behaviors is to do personal development every day, because we all have self-limiting beliefs and doubts. And even the top coaches or top entrepreneurs out there do, but they know exactly what they need to do to stop it, like you said. And so I would just love to get in a routine every day. When I'm like, oh, this is really what I want to post. Is this being too vulnerable? Oh my gosh, I'm insecure about this. But it's like, I want to be able to like, no, this is that, like what you said, if that there's just one person out there or maybe two people that can resonate, then like you've done your job.
Yes.
I'd love to know exactly like just the few activities that you do on a daily basis and like what you've been told, or maybe like the, you know, what you tell yourself on a daily basis, like when your feet hit the ground, if there's like affirmations you say to yourself.
Yes, I'm happy to send like a little snapshot of things that you guys can keep referring back to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll definitely send that to you. And if you have any questions, I'm on Instagram at Asia Dawn _ ASIADAWN _ and I'm in Nicole's Insta story from this morning, so it's like easy to go find me, or asiadawn.co, asiadawn.co, and just like send me a message too, and I'm happy to like help you guys with any questions you have. Like I love this. So thank you so much for having me. It was an honor to speak to you guys and do this again. It was really fun.
Yeah, thanks. I was just going to say one other thing that I've been doing all year is the book. It's called The Book of Proof, and it really reminds me of what you said about, I think I'd struggled with this, where you have the big goal or the big affirmation and you don't believe it, like you said. I've actually really struggled with that because I've been listening to these affirmations by the Mommy Millionaire very regularly. She has this like podcast you can just listen. It's called Meditation on Affirmations. You can change your reality. But some of them, every time she says them, I have that thought like, no, that's not true. Because one of them is like, I'm excellent at everything I do. And I'm like, you can't be excellent at everything you do. But I think what you said that helped me was like how if it's too extreme, like to have that middle ground and something that something that is positive, but maybe it's not quite as extreme. And so, like I said, my Book of Proof, which is the idea I got from a top coach named Kusaba, and she has this journal called Rise Up. In the back, she has you write down every single day. Well, when I do my morning routine, I write down one thing that from the day before that helped me move my business forward, even if it's as simple as I did a social media post. But I think that just reminding myself every single day of those little actions that I'm taking forward, it just really gives me the confidence that I'm on the right path. Because when you have big goals, it's easy to get so overwhelmed and compare yourself to others and think you're so far off. But I think when you go back and read all the stuff you've done, then you're like, wow, I have done a lot and I am getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want to believe it. You said it. You called yourself out. You're like, I don't even believe this affirmation right now. So like, that's not a supportive one for you.
Yeah. Well, she encourages you to even write, like say, record your own and then listen to yourself, which I have to work on wanting to hear myself talk. But
I will say speaking is powerful. One thing I do, just like quickly, every day I record my gratitudes audio. Because I write things too, like journaling, like I'll send you the exercises, but then I also do an audio of my gratitudes. And I usually talk for like 2 minutes saying every single thing I'm grateful for. And then I send it to a couple friends and they send it back to me. So like speaking has power, like voicing it like also has power. So
yeah, great.
All right. I'll let you guys continue on with your business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, a couple announcements before Asia's gonna get off, but yeah, definitely go follow her. She's awesome. I think she got off. I just wanted to quickly, we have a couple announcements. If you guys haven't seen the Instagram training next week, or it's a social media training is happening next week on Facebook. You can go onto the Fit and Balance Tribe and find the group for that. And we're gonna just every day you're gonna get some great training on how to grow your business with some more simple reminders, or for new people, things that you might not know. And then also we're each going to be like doing some research on like trends, because I know that Instagram's changing every single day. So it's like, we got to stay on top of it. So it'll be good for all of us leaders who are going to be speaking to you to also be researching trends, because things change quickly. And then also what pumpkin spice latte comes out, the pumpkin spice latte. That's what I call it. Pumpkin spice latte. Pumpkin spice Shakeology comes out on Tuesday, right? Yeah. So last time it sold out in a day. So if you want it, I would order it on the first day. I didn't get any last year because I was like, I'll just order later, and then never got it.
Yeah, it'll be gone within a day or two, you guys. Hopefully you're gonna put in more because they messed up. Well, they didn't mess up, but I think a lot of people were like, "What? How can it be out?" Just because I didn't order it that day. I think it was sold out the next day. So if you do want to try it, it's on. I mean, it's only limited supplies, so it'll be gone within a week, if anything.
Yeah. Do you have any other announcements, Kelly?
I don't think so. No.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. And hopefully, if you came on late, you can go back and watch some of the replay. But
Yeah, I'll try to get that uploaded today.
For me, when I look back at my business and how it's changed dramatically over the last year, so much of it has to do with personal development and mindset. And I really think it makes a difference for sure. Because it shows up, way you feel about yourself and your business and your ability to grow a business shows up on social media and in your interactions and your confidence, you know, in conversations. And I think that really translates into people's trust in you and growing a business and a team.
Yeah, I think it goes the same when you want to talk about the business. It's like, it's the same thing when you want to talk about the fitness. If you are showing up daily and you're following the calendar of whatever program that you're doing and you're starting to see results, you actually feel more confident about being like, yes, do this with me. I feel amazing. Like I got my workout in, the accountability helped. If you're plugging into your challenge group daily, then you will tend to show up and feel more confident on social media, and you will feel more you'll feel like you have the ability to do it if you're following it. If you're like, oh, I've been slacking, I haven't really done my workouts, I'm not doing, it's like anytime that I find myself dipping in the fitness program, then I find myself like my business isn't, going in the right direction as well. So that's big.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, ladies.
All right, guys. Good to see all you.
I didn't take a picture. Oh, well.
I have a boomerang.
Did you get one of Asia?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.